So I'm going to show you how to set up sending emails in your sales or your boring JavaScript stack apps. Sending emails is one of the things, it's like what you're going to do when you have a real application. You got to send emails to your users for activities or like email verification and all that. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do in the boring stack. So let's get right into it. Hello there, friend. So it has come to my attention that about 95% of the people who watch the videos on this channel don't subscribe. My goal is to get that number down to 50%. So if you're watching this video and you've liked it so far, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate if you do. Now let's get back into the video. So I have here a okay, this is the Melo React template for the boring stack, which gives you authentication, authorization. So these already have like the basic setup for sending emails, but we're going to build on top of it to set up sending emails in production with Mailtrap, who so generously are sponsoring this video. So if you need an email service to send your emails, they have a generous free plan you could go check out. And they have email testing, email sending, which I really, really like. I'm going to show you the email testing a bit. I think it's amazing that they have that. So definitely go check them out. And we're going to set them up really quickly. So let's say we want to sign up for this, right? So if I sign up, of course, this would trigger, normally should trigger verification of the email in an actual app. So when we do this and we hit sign up, okay, check your email. But by default, if you check the console, you see the email is sent to the console because I wanted you to have like a seamless experience so you don't have to worry about setting up a provider just yet, but you could have the same flow as if the email was sent. So you could verify that user by just copying the URL and pasting it, and yeah, verify, then you are logged in, and that's all good. So let's see how that works. How is that engineered? So if we look at um sign up the JS, you could see we have await sales.helpers.mail.send. Where is this coming from? This is made possible by SalesMail, which is this elegant API I built to really make emails simple for sales application and also for the boring stack. So if we look at it right here, so let's go to the so you could see SalesMate is an elegant way to send emails from a sales application, and it's easy to set up. We have multiple transport. The transport you just saw is called the log transport, which just logs the content of the email to the console. So that's amazing. And then it's flexible configuration, which I'm going to show you, and it's easy to start up. So how do you get started? Because once you have a scaffolded app, you already have the hook. But if you don't, you want to set it up for yourself, you could do npm install sales hook mail, and the usage you just saw it is just by calling the send helper in the mail object. All right. So let's look at the app and let's look at configs in a little bit. So if you go to sign up and we look at where we're sending the email. So this we just call sales.helpers.mail.send.with. Then passing the subject, passing the template because we have the templates in EJS. And we, of course, we want to send to the user that is not verified, which is the user trying to sign up. Then we have the template data, which all gets sent into that template, which is in EGS. So if we look at for email verification account, um, email verification account. So this is just normal, just JavaScript, just HTML, because of course this is EGS. Then we could interpolate um, stuff like the URL with the code and the token to verify. So it's pretty simple. So let's look at how we telling SalesMail that okay, by default we should do log. So if you're just setting this up and you don't have a config called mail.js, you could just quickly create it. But if you scaffolded a boring stack project using the npx create sales CLI tool, you should definitely have mail all set up for you. So let's look at what's in this file. So here we have the default mailer. So default is so that's why we don't have to specify a mailer when we code dot send in our action, because we already said this default. So by default, it's going to look in the in environment variable, and you could actually switch them, which is something like you could have multiple mailers and switch them if you want. Or so if this is not defined, it will default to log, which is okay, right? And then this is where you define your mailers, give them transports. Then you can see we have the log transports. I'm going to show you how we do node mailer for especially for local service, like to test email locally. So this is all good, and you could see that okay, by default we're using log. So let's set up like we don't want to see it in the console anymore. Let's see it in Node Mailer. So I have the Node Mailer app on and running. This is the Node Mailer app. I am gonna so this is the app here. So let's look at so when you have the Node Mailer app, it's gonna give you like projects where you could have local servers. So this is the local server, and these are the credentials I'll need it to pass um to sales mail in order for this to work. So how do we do that? How do we pass it to sales mail? So one way I like to do it is utilizing the local.js config in sales. Um, this config don't get into source control, so you could pass in anything you need that. So what you need for your local development, you could pass it in here. So anything you pass in here can override stuff in the actual config files, and I really like it because I could do a lot of things here. So now I have like this same structure that was in mail.js. So now I have mail. Now I can set the default mailer. So a mailer is just an object inside the mailers object. You could call it anything you want, but I like to just give them this name. What's more important is the transport. So this node mailer can get merged to the node mailer in mail.js. So that's why we don't have to define transport anymore, because it's going to get merged together. So here I'm going to just give in the same details that node mailer said I should have, right? Which is the localhost 1025 project one, secret one, secret.1. So with this now, right, I could drop, I need to drop the user. I like using that one email. So drop the user, and if I come back here and I do the sign up process again, then I give passwords that I won't remember. And if I sign up now, you can see it took a little while because we're actually sending. So NodeMailer is going to intercept that. And if we check back into emails, you could see we have that email here. How cool is that? Right. So this is the email we just sent. And you can see we have it in here in NodeMailer. If we check our console, it's no longer going to be the logs, but just just the string that NodeMailer it's gonna send. And a couple of things I want you to note. So if you'd also say like, why don't we specify the from emails and all that even when we were in sign up? That's because in mail.js you could also specify your from email and name, and you could see what I just used here, just deploying JavaScript stack, and I'm just using this hackfish.io domain because it's the one I have verified on Mailtrap, which is going to use for our production email. All right. So so that's literally it. With that, you having the Node Mailer app, and you could test your emails locally. But if you want to take email testing one step further with everything that Mailtrap will give you, let's look at how we could set up email testing in Mailtrap. So first of all, we're going to start using SMTP, because since we support SMTP, um, just I think I failed to mention how to get this SMTP to work is to so let's look at the getting started. If we look at the SMTP transport, right? All you have to do is to install Node Mailer. So we already have that installed. That's why it works. So you just have to install Node Mailer alongside Sales Hook Mail. So once you install that, you could use just do the SMTP transport and everything will work. So any email provider that supports SMTP, you just have to take the credentials they give you, which are all these credentials. You could also specify them in your .env file or in your host, and that's how you just use it. And yeah, so now let's do Mailtrap. Let's set up email testing in Mailtrap. So I'm going to go back to local.js. I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to specify that, okay, we want to use Mailtrap. All right. So if we're going to use Mailtrap for SMTP, we still need the node mailer, right? But for the Mailtrap API, we're going to use the Mailtrap's SDK, which we'll have to install when we get to the point. It's already installed here, but I will show you how you need to do that. So now I would uncomment it. So this you get from your Mailtrap's dashboard. So let me show you how. So when you sign up for Mailtrap and you just want to test your email testing and stuff. So you would have, so when you come here, you come to email testing, then inboxes, you create an inbox because we need an inbox to store, to trap those emails. And they're going to have SMTP credentials, which you could copy the username, copy the password, and specify the ports and take note of this host. It's going to be sandbox.smtp.mail. Yeah. And don't worry, I'm not exposing any secrets. I could reset it after this video is done. Okay. So now with that done, we can now test email testing, because this is not going to send live to the user. I'm going to show you how to do that in a bit. But now we could, since I still want to reuse that user, I could drop it. And if we come back here, make sure we have a fresh state. So now, okay, it's our emails is sent. And if we check, so that didn't go through because I did not specify the transport, and it's not even specified here as well. So let's specify that and give it a whirl again. So we do SMTP because the transport is how we know what to use to send the emails that this mailer is going to send. So let's fix that. And now we could try this one more time. Okay. All right. So that should go through. Okay. So I think our email was sent. Let's confirm that by checking. Okay, cool, cool. Looks good, looks good. So if we look at Node Mailtrap right now, the email testing, you could see we have that email in here. And so this is how it comes immediately. And then you could see your HTML, you could view HTML source. I really like this responsive checks because I find that I don't really test that like often. Even if I use NodeMail, I don't. But with this responsive checks, we can mimic what like it will look like on different screen sizes, which is good. And you could do HTML check, you could do spam analysis. And I really, really dig the email testing features on Mailtrap. All right. So that's it. That's how you set it up. That's how you set it up, and that's how it works. Easy peasy. So let's look at email testing with Mailtrap again using the Mailtraps API. So to use the Mailtraps API, you have to use the Mailtrap transport for sales mail. And if we go back here, and we look at Mailtrap, the transport, you could say we just have to install npm Mailtrap, and then we set the transport to be Mailtrap, and then we could pass in the credentials, either using environment variables or in a local.js, which is the one we're going to use right now, right? So let's do that. So now we're going to do the transport is definitely going to be Mailtrap. We already have Mailtrap installed. And then we're going to use the token, which you get from your dashboard. And make sure you also take your test inbox ID, because this is how we know that, okay, this is to be sent to your test inbox. Your account ID as well should also um be in here, because it's going to warn if you don't have it. I think it doesn't let you, if you don't have the account ID, probably not going to let you to have some account features that Mailtrap would offer. So now with this, if we could look at the sign up again, and if we run this and put in our password, we'll sign up now. Okay. And if we check back here, look at the email testing, and look here, we just got the same email we got before, but now we're sending it via the Mailtrap's API using the Mailtrap transport for sales mail. How cool is that? So lastly, which I think you're all waiting for, like how do we send in production? Okay, I'm done testing. I've tested locally with the log. I've tested with NodeMailer. How do I set up production? If to go production, all you have to do is the same setup you do if you're going to use the Mailtrap's API. If you want to use the Mailtrap's API, you just have to remove the test inbox. So like this with the same token, with the same transport, probably just need just the token and to go through. I think the account ID is optional. So once you have that, you're good to send email for production. Right. So let's test that out. So if we'll I promise you that the last time we're dropping that. And if we do Kelvin, giving the email come. So now if we try to sign up, okay, and then if we check, we have that in here. How cool is that? So a quick recap, all you have to do to send emails in the borrowing stack is to npm install the sales hook if you don't already have it. If you're using the template, you already have that installed. Then you just use the sales.helper.mail.send to send. And to send emails from SMTP, use the SMTP transport supports. All you have to do is install NodeMailer, and then it supports any email service that supports SMTP, just giving the credentials. Then I showed how to use Mailtrap for both email testing and email sending, and also how to use both them in SMTP mode and also in the Mailtrap's API using the Mailtrap's transport. You just have to install npm. You just have to install Mailtrap alongside the sales hook mail. So that's it. I hope you learned a thing or two on how to send emails in sales and the borrowing JavaScript stack. Like everything else, you could see it's super easy. The APIs are intuitive. You just have one API, which is .send, and you could send emails using SMTP transport, or you could also use Mailtrap to send your emails in both production and for testing. If you want to learn more about the sales hook mail, you could definitely just head over to the docs and check out the configurations. They are very, very adequate. So you have everything you need for different transports and all that. So yeah, thank you. See you in the next video.